Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalaran. Patch 9.1.5 will have Legion time walking, but it looks like out of all the time walkings in the game so far, this is the coolest one by far. The other time walkings will have one advantage over Legion, and that is they have raids that are brought in and scaled down for us to run with some great catch-up gear for our alts. However, Legion is starting off strong and unique. Not only are we going to have dungeons like expected, but also Mythic Plus dungeons, and also one specific piece of content that has never been replicated in World of Warcraft, something everybody that played back in Legion holds close and dear to them, something that was such a unique experience with great rewards, something you had to really fight for and earn. That's going to be the primary topic of today's video, the Mage Tower returning in Legion time walking. Let me first go over everything that time walking is adding. At least this is the full list so far. 1. Legion dungeons are going to be available, but not only just normal heroic dungeons, but rather Mythic Plus dungeons with all the different affixes. This is where this started. This is where Legion Mythic Plus as well as World of Warcraft Mythic Plus content started in. It's the same content that we do to this day. When we were trying to get some vault loot, we were trying to gear our ults, when we were depleting keys with the boys, this is where it began. And I think it was the first time that Blizzard found a way to make dungeons relevant beyond running them the first time on heroic, getting the item level from it, and never touching them again because you had raids. What's the point of going back to dungeons? Together with Mythic Plus affixes, it created a very highly replayable system. I cannot wait to show you off some of the Mythic Plus content for patch 9.1.5 on PTR, and a lot of my guildies and friends are excited for it as well. So as soon as it's available for testing, I want to show it off to you, as I have a lot of questions as which gear and which pieces, specifically items with extra effects, which one of those are going to be actual legitimate loot you'll be able to use in current content, because that gear is supposed to be upgradable with Valor, and it doesn't sound like catch-up gear. But another piece of content that's super unique to Legion was the Mage Tower Challenge. The Mage Tower Challenge was added about the time with a long wait for Timo Sargeras. A lot of players found themselves hanging around the Broken Shore, a zone that we previously been to, mostly for story reasons, but now it's part of our daily hub. This is where you established your camp with your class order hall, bringing in the leaders of that class order hall, establishing themselves, clearing the demon threat, and also doing a lot of the busy work for Khadgar. But besides that, it was a lot of fun. There was a lot to get out of it. Not only could you get Covenant mounts, which were unique to your character, you could get a variety of different rewards as well as good catch-up gear from that system as well. There's also the new raid that was available at a later time, and then something different, a solo player challenge called the Mage Tower. Back on Broken Shore, you could use different resources in order to construct different buildings in order to make your time on the Broken Shore a little bit easier or add something unique to you. The less important buildings are going to start with the command center, which is a way for you to be able to get a chance to get more augment runes from world quests, as well as gain extra Legion Fall War supplies to put back into your building construction. It unlocked more world quests for you to interact with on the Broken Shore, as well as gave you a buff where everybody on the shore got 10% bonus primary stats while in the area. The other building was called the Nether Disruptor, which had a couple unique qualities, like allowed you to interact with objects and quest items on Broken Shore without having to dismount, being able to farm more nether shards, which was one of the main occurrences on Broken Shore, and also gave you a chance to gain a Seal of Broken Fate, which was like the reroll token. It gave you a chance to roll another piece of loot from the loot table from the boss, which could give you gold, AP, or something to wear, but also it had a chance to allow you Seal of Broken Fate. If it fails to roll something good, something that's equipable, then it gave you a chance to roll it again. Not that these buildings were anything crazy, mostly just stuff that has to do with the open world. But then there was the Mage Tower. The Mage Tower was interesting because one, it gave you portals to areas you normally wouldn't be able to go to, different areas of Legion. But it also unlocked a unique challenge for every single class, for every single spec. You had a couple different challenges, depending on what your class specialized in. You had a different boss to fight with amazing rewards. And it seems that the Legion Mage Tower is being brought back in. You might have seen forum posts or just players or streamers talking about it in the past, the Mage Tower. It was a really cool experience from the moment that it started to the very end, the tail end of Legion. It looks like the Wowhead article has some of the data mined spell changes, like scaling of spells from Legion Mage Tower in the works right now. which suggests that the Mage Tower might actually be returning for the Time Walking, which would be unique. Normally they would do dungeons and raids for Time Walking, but the Mage Tower, as cool of an experience as it was, as challenging of experience as it was, I think this is an awesome idea. And I think that's the most memorable part of the Mage Tower, is the challenge of a difficult task and the amazing rewards out of it. For many classes, this was a tough challenge, except I think for Beastmastery Hunters, because pets and being able to tank bosses made a portion of that fight, a good portion of it, easier. But for many classes, this wasn't just something you did in 5 tries. Some players had to do this for 100+ pulls. It wasn't a challenge that you could just overgear, not until way later in Legion. But before that, when it was released, the current content gear was the bare minimum you needed in some cases to even be able to step your foot in, because the challenges themselves were hard. The mechanics, the fights, they were technically designed for your spec, or at least, you know, if you're an AoE based spec, you were able to deal with AoE parts of the fight. But if it was as easy as just nuking everything down in AoE, then that would be the easy part, but it wasn't. There was extra phases for these bosses. They got progressively harder. There were timings you had to time, and as the fights got into the berserking phase where it's all or nothing, the room is filled with purple, the final boss comes out, it's really a do or die scenario. What was awesome at the later parts of Legion is to go back on some of your alts once you got a bit of catch-up gear in patch 8.3 in particular. That was the minimum item level we needed in order to be able to do these challenges fairly quickly. And being able to see how other classes do these fights, how they have to figure out a way around these fights, it just added a unique experience. Even though Retribution Paladins and Arcane Mages shared the fight, the way that you approached the fight, the cooldowns that you had to manage, there was enough of differences where it was still a unique experience. So if the Mage Tower is actually returning, I'm really excited, but there are a couple of questions that need to be answered. Like one, how difficult is this going to be? And I think it's going to be very similar to Classic WoW or TBC Classic experience. We already know these fights. We have guides written on them, exactly what to do, which abilities to use. Yeah, our classes changed a little bit since Legion going into Shadowlands, but with the Covenant abilities, in some cases they'll be easier. So it won't be nearly as difficult of a challenge if they keep it exactly the same, but I wonder if they'll sprinkle in a couple new mechanics in order to keep the challenge of it. But I wouldn't get my hopes too high in terms of making it really difficult. As much as I enjoyed the punishment that the challenge gave me, I don't think it's going to be for everybody, one. And second, I don't think it's going to be as easy to balance it so that it's still a challenge while also allowing players to get whatever rewards out of it. And that's another question. What is going to be the reward for the new Mage Tower if we are getting one? Is it going to be the challenge mode skins of the weapons like back in the day, or maybe something different? Well, it looks like the Mage Tower news kind of came together or about the same time as some of the recolors for the Legion/TBC tier sets, I believe of tier 20. And a lot of these sets are marked as potentially a reward from the Mage Tower challenge, which would make sense. Mage Tower was about the time when Tomb of Sargeras was released, and that's the tier set that a lot of people got before they tried the Mage Tower to potentially get successful at it, unless they tried it in future tiers afterwards. So to me, it will make sense, but you guys let me know in the comments, do you think they should do this tier recolors, which we're going to take a look at in just a second, don't worry, but should they reuse these tier recolors for the Mage Tower, or do you think they should give players another opportunity at getting the challenge mode skins, the challenge mode version of the artifact weapons? That includes also some of the unique druid forms like bear druid and cat form. Do you think they should reuse those or go with the tier 20 recolors? So let's take a look at the tier sets and the recolors we have. Starting off with Warlock, mwah, chef's kiss. Honestly, this is going to be the best set of them all. This is the S tier set. It looks fantastic. I love that whole red and dark look for it. The wings look fantastic. It looks like a Warlock corrupted by the Emerald Nightmare. This one is my all-time favorite. If you don't play a Warlock, this would be literally a reason to pick one up. Next set is going to be for Elemental Shaman Enhancement and Resto, a more corrupted green shaman look. I'm actually a huge fan of this one. I like it, especially if the shoulders can replicate that lightning effect. If that lightning, which is normally blue, can be green, that would look fantastic. A Mountain Dew Shaman. I do like the set though. The Druid set is kind of a hit or miss. It's green, and it doesn't really look all that different from the original. I really think they should have maybe went with more corrupted look. But it's not bad, it just doesn't look much different from the original set. The warrior set is a little different. While a lot of these sets in this list are going to be going for the darker colors, more grim colors, the warrior does the opposite with brighter colors of golden, red, and kind of ivory white to it. I actually like it. I like the fact that it's doing something different. It won't be everyone's favorite, but this is a good set in my opinion. Warriors already have the recolors for like the dark, corrupted, green, fell warrior. So going for more like a paladin-esque, gladiator-esque look, I'm a fan. The rogue set, I didn't know if I would enjoy it as much as I would. I didn't really like the set to begin with. I like masks, but I never really enjoyed the cowl around the mask. But the color scheme, I think it actually works out pretty well. Big fan of the shadow effects around the gloves, the shoulders, and the helmet. And what's cool about the set is I think it's very versatile. You can take pieces of this combined with other sets, and because of the grays and blues, I think you could actually make some good mocks out of it. The priest set, fantastic. This is the mirror image of the original. While the original is this warrior, the priest of light, with shoulders firing off the holy magic, this is a void version. What happened if we failed in Legion? What happened if the void took over? And that's kind of what this set represents. I like the purple. I think it looks great. I like how it's a mirror image of the original one. Death Knights never really had a TBC set for Blizzard to draw their creative ideas from, but the set they gave to Death Knights back in Legion was fantastic, and I think this look is good. The Elite original Mythic version of this set was more frosty, so this has more of an unholy look. And for many Death Knights playing Necrolord Covenant, I feel like with the color schemes of the set, you're gonna feel basically right at home. Then we have the Demon Hunter set, and Demon Hunters I feel like fall off a bit in terms of their sets always have this edgy fell green about them. Every one of the tier sets is just fell Legion green, and this one just adds more green on top of it. I don't think this makes the original set much better with that color. I think a red corrupted look would have looked cooler, but to each is their own. The Hunter set isn't bad. This one is going to be a hit or miss for some people. I think this one doesn't look better or worse than the original set, but it's different. It's like a void-y Hunter. I don't hate it. I just don't really know if I want to say if it's better or worse than the original. Then we have the Monk, which the orange colors and the blue. I'm a fan of the warm colors. I think it's a cool scheme. I don't think everybody's going to be a fan of it. I feel like maybe they should have went for a more corrupted look, like with a lot of these other mocks, but the orange and the blue, I mean, this looks kind of like a heroic or normal recolor of the original. The Mage set I think I like a lot though, because the original set looked great, the shoulders, the effects, everything but the helm I enjoy, and the purple for an arcane mage blasting this massive energy out of his shoulders, I think it looks fantastic. I'm actually a fan of this one. The Paladin set looks like a heroic or normal recolor, and if you've never seen the original Mythic set, you would imagine that that was the original Mythic set. I think they should have went for a corrupted look, but it's definitely not a bad recolor either way. But that's going to be my video on the tier sets and all the updates for Legion Timewalking. I am so excited to hop on PTR once any of this is available to show you off some of these dungeons, to try them out for myself. I really am excited for the Mage Tower to see what it's going to look like. There's a lot of abilities they're tuning for it, and I wonder how this experience is going to be. I don't think this is going to be as cool as the original Mage Tower experience back in the day, but being able to relive it during Timewalking, I think is going to be a treat. And for many players that never got to play it back in the day, I think it's going to be even cooler. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to see more 9.1.5 updates on the channel, hit subscribe. What are you doing? Hit the bell to make sure YouTube feeds you the videos. Give this video a like if you want to, and if you want to hit me up on Discord or in the comments, the best way. Discord is probably the best. I hang out there all the time. Link for Discord for the channel is in the description below of every single video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. You have yourself a good one, and I'll see all of you in the next one.